Alright, so what we're going to do is add a railing. So press 1. So add this rail and those small rails. Okay, so what we're going to do is stick the cursor here. Okay, so the way you do that is you click on the cursor, then click here, because this is where the rail actually starts. So press 1, then click that, then move or click somewhere around here inside the wall, so that the mesh that we're going to add would be fitted on that area. So what I can do here is make use of a cube, then scale it. Okay, even though the rail is round, we could actually just add a subdivision to make it round later. So we just add this cube, make it smaller, it's too big. Okay, so grab. Okay, so next is to select the edit the cube. So let's select that face, press 1, Shift C, so that we could somehow add a rail somewhere around here. Okay, then we're going to select the edge. Okay, we're going to select the edge, this edge, and create an angle so that we will be able to extrude this side or this face going to the other side. So press 3, right, then extrude, then let go. Okay, I scaled it to flatten it, so then stick it to that wall. Alright, so if we add a subdivision here, so subdivision surface, right, so around 4. Okay, what we need to do is to add edge loops here. So alright, I added an edge loop here so that we can constrain the shape. Same with this one. Control R. Now what we can do here is select this edge and we can bevel it so that we can round this corner. So Control B. Oops, sorry. Alt Shift Control B. Alright, so move your scroll mouse so that you'll be able to get that curve. Okay, then let's turn on the subsurface modifier. Okay, so it's already rounded. Let's turn it off again. Alright, what we can do here somehow, this side is a bit thick, so we can move this like so. Right, so that when you turn on the subdivision, it somehow is or has the same size. Okay. I'm selecting the edges so that I can move the edges closer, so that when it becomes round, somehow here it has the same size. Press 3, press 7, Shift C. Next is we can duplicate this, but the problem is the rails that are here are smaller, right? So we have to make another one, but this time it's a bit thinner. If we try to, let's say, duplicate this, so you duplicate, grab, press Z, right, and we try to scale this, you see that it gets smaller and the size actually also gets affected. But I think we could somehow make a way to somehow fix this. Alright, so we can just scale this, right? So Shift C, so press S, then press 1, then Tab, Shift Z. We can just select this side and bring it to here. If you would notice that we are somehow a bit off from our reference, but that's fine, because what we are really focusing on is the alignment to our wall. See? So it has to be aligned here. Okay. Then after that, okay, select. Okay. Select this. Shift D to duplicate. Shift D, sorry. Shift D. Okay. Shift D and Shift D again. Okay. Now on this side, we're going to move those vertices to this side. Okay. What we can do is Shift select the other rails, press Tab, go to vertices, Shift Z, then box select those parts and move it to the wall, like so. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is add the rail supports. So these are flat bars that we can stick here. Okay, so let's add so actually has from our reference like 1, 2, 3, right? So somewhere around here. So let's use the 3D cursor again. So here, and I think it should be around here. Alright, so let's just move the added mesh later. So mesh, cube, scale, okay, then grab, right, then scale, press 1 to look into our reference. Okay, so S, grab. Alright, so let's tab edit, then press 3 and flatten our bar, then move the top face until it touches the top rail. Alright, so tab out, then let us move the support and center it. Then Shift D to duplicate. Shift D again. I think as much as possible we have to make the supports of equal spaces. Right. So either you could eyeball it, or just make use of a cube to somehow set a certain measurement. So scale. Although Blender has a measuring tool, pero I haven't really actually used it that much. So instead we'll be using just a simple cube to move it. So alright, so let's add this one. So Shift D, press 3, rotate on Z 90 degrees. Let me add a cube once again. I should have not deleted the guide that I created earlier. So let's select this support and put it here. Shift D. Now let's select the boxes and delete it. So if ever you're given a blueprint for the exact location of the frames and the windows and the supports, then you would have to use that. Okay, what we are doing right now is eyeballing the the model based on the reference, so it's actually is fine. But if ever there will be a chance that there is a blueprint that is given to us, then we could easily make adjustments, make our model fit the blueprint. Now I'm duplicating the top rail. Okay. What I can do now here is combine all of them. So press Control J so that I could be able to combine. Then I'm going to edit, then go to face. I'm going to mirror this so that it's easier to duplicate it. Okay, so I'm going to delete these faces. Okay. Then the mirror actually works if this particular yellow dot is in the center. So what we can do here is just select a vertex. So press 1, select this particular vertex. Okay, then go to Object, where is it? Shift S. Alright, so Shift and S. Origin to cursor to selection. So cursor to active or cursor to selected. Alright, so that's a cursor. Tab object, set origin to 3D cursor, origin to 3D cursor. So now the center is now in the 3D cursor. Now we go to the modifier and add a mirror. The mirror should be on Y. Okay, so tab. Let's remove the edges here. So press 2, Alt click. Okay, so Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click. Dissolve edges. Alt Shift click, then turn on clipping so that when we move this, it sticks to that part. Okay. So let's also turn on the subdivision surface. Okay, now after adding the subdivision surface, our supports became spiky, right? So it's not supposed to be like that. So what we have to do is fix this. So turn off the subdivision. I think it would be best for us to separate the supports. Right, so press L on the supports. Then press P to separate them. Okay. Um, the reason why we have to do that is because we want the subdivision to be only affecting the so say shade smooth. Okay, you want to only affect this for the roundness, but the additional support shouldn't be like that. So there. What we can do here is like press A and bevel. So control. Oh no, let's just add a bevel modifier. So let's go to modifier, then use a bevel. So let's look closely to our model. The reason why we need to use bevel is because we need some sort of highlight bouncing onto that side. From the default settings, the bevel is actually point 0 a point 1 meter, and I think this will be okay. All right. We somehow is missing a center support. Right, so what we can do here is go to edit and select one of the supports, duplicate it. Okay. And what we can do here is remove this center so we could stick it in the middle, or we could just like add an edge loop in the center. Right, so there's an edge loop. Let me do it again. So one edge loop. Let's turn off the bevel. So when you turn off, this is the display modifier. So let's turn it off. Then let's go to faces. Select the face. Delete the face. All you can just select each of the faces. So X. Okay. Shift C, because there's this additional split of the faces. Shift Z again. Alright. Then press L. Then move it to the center so that it sticks to the other mirrored mesh. Then tab out. Press save. Next thing here is that yeah.
HBC daw mamaya. Itawag nila.
Right, so we need to adjust this. We need to find the center of our model, so I think we need to let's try and add a cube, and let me just try something. So set origin to geometry. So it's not centered. Alright, so that's a problem. So will be our guide for centering. So let's just make this really big. Scale it on Z so that we'll be able to see what we're trying to measure. So press 7. Alright. So the center. Alright, so that's the center. Alright. So select um the cube, then cursor, shift S, cursor to selected. So that's the center. We're going to use that as a guide to center our support. Okay, so let me just move that down. Press 7. Alright, so the center is somewhere around there. Okay. I need to select all of this. Then grab an X so that I could find the center. Okay, so I think that's going to be our center. Right. Now we're going to edit our rail. So shift Z so that when we select this part of the rail, we can select the back faces. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Then let's select the supports. Press 1 and select that support and put it here. Right. Now we have a problem since we don't have a support at the back. Okay. So another thing about mirroring is you can mirror in different directions. Okay, so we could like select the supports, then press X, click here, and not press X, click on the X axis. You see it actually is adding support on the back, but it's being put in the front. So what we can do here is move the center of our object, this particular object, to this particular this center in the cursor. So what we can do is select this, then tab vertex. No, sorry. Select select the rail. Go to object, set origin to cursor. Right. So now it's centered. Okay. So what we're going to do is Shift Z. We're going to select this and put it in the center so that when we mirror it, we're actually mirroring the other side or the back. So this is actually what it looks like. Okay. So if we have that, the X, right? So we could actually add that part of the mirror. So let's go to face and delete those faces. Right. Then press 3, press 1, Shift Z. Okay. Going to stick it there. Alt Shift. Then X, dissolve edges. Shift Z again. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing to our supports. Alright. So select the supports. Go to Object, set Origin. Origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Then let's delete some of the supports. So vertices. Then click on the x-axis so that it adds a support. So press 3. Alright. So what we can do now here is, I think we need to make an adjustment on this side because it's somewhere around here. So grab, then Y. Let's just move it a bit. Right. Then press S. Okay. Click on the VisDev view. Alright. Alright, so let me just check this. Okay. I need to snap. Shift Z. Okay. Alright, so let's stop for now and proceed to the next video.